Hey, and good evening. I guess it's evening. Yes, it is evening, no matter where we are. I am so glad to be here today. And so, before we get started, I just want to ask you something or ask you if you know something. Did you know that the number one belief that's keeping you stuck in stress, do you know what it is? You might not realize it, but it's there. It's actually there, like throwing on an old, familiar, tattered sweater, right? It's comfortable. We've had it forever. And in some way, it even feels good. I bet by now you're wondering, what is she talking about? Well, maybe it reminds you of something or someone who you had to be, what you had to do to get through life. And because it's familiar, you don't even question it anymore. You just keep wearing it. How many of you have a sweater like that, right? One of those sweaters that may have a hole in it. It's not, it's all faded, not in the best shape, but you absolutely love it. Or maybe not love it, but it feels comfortable. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the number one belief that's keeping you stuck in stress. But here's the problem with that belief, it's the reason that you're actually exhausted every day. It's the reason that you feel like, well, no matter how much you do, it's never enough. And today, I want to show you exactly why you have to let that belief go. And look, you're probably saying, who is this? And I'm Michelle, your resident emotional wellness coach, Michelle O'Neill. And I just knew it was so important that I got on here and talked to you today. And so my thoughts right now may even be scattered a bit because I'm just thinking about what it is that I want to tell you and how I want to tell you how this one belief, this one thing is keeping you stuck in stress right now. And so, why don't you go ahead and tell me where you're from? You know, if you're on here, if you're catching the replay, let me know and just do a little hashtag replay. But I want to talk about, why do so many of us struggle with rest? We struggle to take the time to rest. Why do we feel guilty when we slow down, even for one moment, right? And it's because somewhere along the way, we learn that being tired, being busy, being the one who actually holds everything together, well, that's what makes us valuable. That's what makes us worthy. We're needed, and somebody needs us in their life, right? And I get it. That belief didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's not just something all of a sudden you thought, hey, if I'm busy, I'm valuable. Hey, if someone needs me, they're not going to let me go, right? It was taught to you. Simple as that. Whether you realize it or not, it was taught to you. You saw it in your family, in your community, in the way people talk about women. You know, those women who do it all. I remember my grandmother. She was the epitome woman of the neighborhood. She was at church. She took care of family. She made sure we had the scrumptious Sunday morning breakfast, hot rolls, hot fish, everything. And she took care of the house. And then she was there with us in the evening, sitting and watching TV and pouring into us. That was grandma. And she worked during the day as well. And so that's what we learned along the way. Think about it. And I think I said before, what about your first thing you got as a little girl? What was it? It was a baby doll so that you could nurture it, hold it, feed it, take care of it, change its diaper, right? When you're needed, you feel valuable. You feel like that's what you're supposed to do. And you learn that exhaustion meant that you were doing something right, that you were giving. that you were a valuable part of society. But let's be real. Who is that belief actually serving? Is it serving you? How are you feeling doing and being all the things? You know what? It ain't you. It sure isn't you. As simple as that. And I want you to think about this for a second. What's the belief running your life right now? What is one belief that is going on that in your life that you're believing and it's actually running your life? Like, if I don't make sure that when I come in the morning that I've gone through all my emails and I made sure that I replied to all those emails, they're going to think I'm not doing my job right or I'm not on top of things. What is that one belief that you have to do things and get it done on time, that you have to instantly react to people, right? Your phone ring, what do? You pick it up. You get a text, what do? You look at it and you respond. Someone pings you on Facebook or LinkedIn, what do? You answer it. So what's that belief that's running your life right now? Maybe it's like, if I'm not attentive enough, if I don't respond to people, they think they're not important to me. What is it? Is it that if I don't do it, no one else will? Believe me, someone will pick up the slack. I remember someone that I worked with, dear soul, and he was talking to me one day about even me and feeling like I had to be there. And he said one thing he learned early in his life that one of his mentors taught him is they took a glass of water and they took a rock and they dropped the rock in the water and there was a hole for a moment. But then that space that that rock made filled in. And he told me, no matter who or what you are in your life, there's always something that can fill your spot. And I thought that was so profound. So profound. Or, okay, so here's another one. Maybe it's saying, no, you're letting people down. I would encourage you to check right up front. What am I saying no to? If I said yes, who is it serving? Who is it helping? Am I doing something that in all actuality, if they did themselves, they would be better off? Because one, they're learning something, and two, they're growing as a person. So are you really letting them down? Or that classic one, I just need to push through a little longer. Because somewhere on the other side of the road, somewhere down there, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But have you noticed lately that that light seems to be getting dimmer and dimmer or further and further? And so you keep pushing for that light. And it seems like you never get any more closer because there's always more to push through, right? So, what I'd like you to do is, why don't you just go ahead and drop in the comments what it is that has been driving you? Because I want to know. I want to know what's pushing you to make sure you show up over and above each and every day, that you stress yourself out. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. I can't wait to hear. I really want to know. I really do. So, now here's what I'm going to step on some toes about a little. Because one of the things I know is people will tell you that, you're stressed, do deep breathing, take a bubble bath, or schedule that spa day. And listen, I'm really not knocking those things. In fact, those are some of the things that I teach. They are good. They do have their space and they do work. Don't get me wrong. But in reality, if stress were just a matter of taking care of yourself, none of us would be drowning right now, right? None of us would be overwhelmed or unable to move forward sometimes. Because the real problem is not that you don't know how to take a break, but the problem is you just don't think you deserve a break. And now I hear McDonald's in my head. You deserve a break today. You are still living by the rules that tell you rest has to be earned. You can't rest till you've finished all your to-do list or if you've gotten this accomplished. There's one more thing you want to do before you go to bed tonight. And so because you keep working on that, you go to bed even later this night, and then you wake up in the morning because you have to get up early, tired. Is that serving you or anyone else? You've learned that slowing down means that you're falling behind. Do Behind what? Do we ever really get ahead? I like to think about it as I'm right where I need to be. Or what about saying no means that you're letting people down? I can't say that one enough because that real guilt is there. And that's exactly why you feel stuck. So here's my question to you. What happens if you stop believing it? What happens if you stop believing that lie? What happens if you start examining the rules, those silent rules that are in your life that are driving your actions? What happens if you, well, let go of that old tattered sweater, right? If you stopped proving yourself through exhaustion, if you started making choices based on what's actually supporting you, not just what's expected. Because if there's a question to you about what those rules are, they're based on expectations that you put on yourself and others put on you, but not just that. The old habits and things that you've learned or been taught along the way. So, if you stopped proving yourself through that exhaustion and started making the right choices, that's when everything changes. Not with just another to-do list, not with another productivity hack, but by changing the rules that you've been living your life by. And that's exactly, I just wanted to invite you because that's exactly what we're breaking down in tomorrow's live training on how to stop self-induced stress and overwhelm. I'm going to show you exactly why stress keeps cycling no matter how much you do and how to unlearn these old beliefs and that simple framework to help you actually shift without the guilt, without second guessing yourself, without constantly feeling like you're falling behind. And look, if this is really resonating with you, if this is hitting home, don't wait. I want you to scan. Let me see if I can put it in there. I want you to scan the QR code. See if I can find it. Here we go. There we go. You see it? Good. There we go. So I want you to scan that QR code and I want you to sign up now. And let's finally change this. This one belief at a time. Let's change this because if you're waiting for life to slow down before you take a breath, you'll be waiting forever. You'll be waiting forever. And I am so thrilled that you took the time to be here with me today. I really appreciate that you showed up because you didn't show up for me. You showed up for yourself. And I appreciate that. And I honor you. So until next time, thank you for allowing me to pop in into your life today. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.